we're here at the Warmundi Station, which is just an easy walk. It was a 5-minute walk from our ship cruise terminal to the station, and we're looking for a way to get over to the other platform. We need to be on platform 4, and we are right now on platform 5. So that's the only concern that we have right now, but we'll figure that out eventually, we figure. The train station, they have a little fair going around, and an RV park, and lots of beaches. I guess a lot of people come here just to enjoy the water.
It's a 3-hour journey by train from Warmundi, Germany to Berlin, Germany. And so we took the IC 2175 train that goes directly from Warmundi over to Berlin.
We're here on the IC 2175, and we think we're in second class, which are these seats, and we have a table here, and they all have plugs. Of course, they're European plugs with the 2 holes, but 2 round holes, but that's pretty good. So I think we're good. Okay, we're on the train. We're passing by our boat over there to the right, and looking at the countryside of Warmundi in Germany now. This should be about a 2.5-hour trip, and we'll see how it goes.
The trains in Germany are very comfortable. They have free Wi-Fi, and they also have vending food machine options. Because of the news and everything that is Ukraine, it was interesting to see the big gas lines that run through the country. You can see those here, and then most of the trip was just looking through people's apartment buildings, but it was also nice once you got out of the city of Warmundi and Rostock. It got more into the countryside.
We are here in Berlin Central Station. A lot of people coming and going, and we got to find the Reichstag, which is where our next destination is. Where is Berlin Central Station? It is a big train station. Make sure you know which platform you're on as we cross. I think we're crossing the Rhine River, but I'm not sure.
We're crossing the Spree.
The Spree, okay.
The Rhine is
and
west.
We're going over there to the flags, to the Reichstag. Okay, we made it here to the Reichstag, which is an interesting building because, of course, in the 40s it got burned down by the Nazis, and then they built it back up when the Republic came back up.
It was destroyed by the Soviets because war.
Well, before that, the dome was burnt by the Nazis, and it was built up after the war.
Getting into the Reichstag is pretty easy. You just need to make an appointment, which you can do online up to 6 months ahead of time. Included in your reservation for the Reichstag is a free audio guide, which they have in several languages, which for us was great. It was in English. What you do is you go up into the dome, and when you hit certain points while you're in the dome, it will trigger the audio guide that you can listen to. Climbing the circular dome pathway, you get great views of the city of Berlin. Here you can see the old U.S. Embassy, and then you can see a peace monument and the park in Berlin. At the very top, there's an open air Oculus type thing, kind of reminded me of Rome.
54 meters to the
and
top.
The rain does sometimes get into the Oculus. They have this system where there's like this spout here, and the rain gets funneled into the spout so that it doesn't hit inside the legislation building. One thing that I have to say about this tour through the Reichstag is it was really hot. If you notice, everything's made out of glass and it's all reflective material. The Reichstag is right next to what used to be the East and West Berlin dividing lines, which during the Cold War were very important. But now it more or less represents the unity of Berlin.
One of the old bridges, this bridge was one of the last bridges that was not taken down. It's called Friedrichstraßen. And back there you can see the Friedrichstraßen train station. And that was one. This monument is dedicated to the citizens who spoke up against Nazism.
Well, not citizens, the politicians.
Politicians, yes.
Who were also citizens, but more specifically.
I'm going to keep mine where it is.
Okay.
These white crosses represent those who died trying to cross the Berlin Wall.
This is
The Berlin Wall again was what Russia put up to stop people from going to the Eastern Communist to the Western capitalist side of Berlin.
We are arriving at Brandenburg Gate. And it's interesting, we're on the back side right now. We're in front of the Brandenburg Gate, which was, of course, right in front of the wall back in the day. That cobblestone marker was where the wall used to be. Inside the DZ Bank to check out the giant fish.
Now, I can see this is the guy who did
The Gary design, right?
who did the Walt Disney Concert Hall, right?
Yep. The Walt Disney concert guy.
And in the town.
Yeah. This is the Hotel Adden. Right here on this balcony, this is where Michael Jackson dangled his baby. And other things also, but that's mostly what I remember from Michael Jackson. This is the Academy of Arts building. We are here at the Murdered Holocaust Museum and Memorial. And murder is important because it was Germany admitting that they committed a crime and murdered the Jews. And very sobering place as we descend into the depths. This parking lot here is where Hitler had his bunker and ultimately killed himself. We're here at a place called Bavaria Berlin, and we're gonna have some Schnitzel, which Denise says she knows all about. Which
Spätzle. I'm gonna have Spätzle.
I know what Spätzle is. I almost got the cheese Spätzle, but I went for the Schnitzel instead.
But I'll share my Spätzle with you if you share your Schnitzel with me.
Okay, this is the Viennese Schnitzel with potato salad and Linder jelly, which I guess you use like horseradish, according to Denise. And I've already like put on my lemon on it. So, and then Denise got
Cheese Schnitzel.
cheese Schnitzel, which is basically German noodles. The British Embassy in Germany, and they say that purple on the column is what you get when you mix red, blue, and white together. So that's what they're saying. The Russian Embassy. Unter der Linden in English means under the lime trees, and that's what we're walking under. We are coming up here to the statue of King Frederick. King Frederick was the king who supposedly could do it all. He could lead, and he could play the flute, and even dance at the same time. Over here, AJ is looking at the glass where they did the book burning of all the undesirable books, in front of which is now Humboldt University.
Where your eyes get used to what you might want to try to see inside the room.
Babelplatz is interesting because it's the home of Humboldt University, the same university where Lenin went to.
Which was originally built as a bunker for the king's guards, but now as a memorial to soldiers. the Spree River going to Museum Island here.
Museum Island has 5 museums, the most important of which is probably the Pergamon, which is the Antiquities Museum that has the bust of Nefertiti. The other side of the Spree River is where you'll find most of the little tour boats, but it also takes you into the more modern area of Berlin.
We're here in the Lind store. All the chocolate there is. Where we end our tour here at Alexanderplatz. We're gonna take an elevated train back to Central Station and back on a big train to the cruise terminal.
You would think that would be the end of this video, but you would be wrong. It was just the beginning, because when we got to Central Station in Berlin, we did not know until the very last minute that they switched trains. So we ended up having to take a taxi all the way back to Warmunde. By the way, if you're wondering, a 3-hour taxi cab ride from Berlin to Warmunde is not cheap. It was $562 on Uber, but we were lucky to have it, and soon we found ourselves on the Autobahn, which is a very interesting place because they go over 100 miles an hour.
Well, we thought we were going to get to the cruise port on time, but there is a fully engulfed car on fire over there, so that is pretty crazy.
Unfortunately, the guy in the car died, but they were very organized, and we were soon on our way, but we still felt bad for the guy who died in the car.
Oh my God.
We were the last ones to board the boat. In fact, they pulled up the ramp right after we got on side of the boat, but I got a stern talking to by the security director when we got on the boat, but it was kind of hard to feel repentant when you saw somebody die. Anyways, Berlin was a great time other than the death part, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.